What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Zabbix video. This time we are talking about how to summarize proxy configuration file again. And this time I want to cover and introduce a workaround how to deal with Docker containers if in case we are running Zabbix proxy via container. We would still like to pick up and see some like how we did set up those pods or containers, what kind of settings they are using. And in this video we will kind of merge together in case maybe we are not using container for the proxy or we are using it for container, then it will result in the same dashboard. There will be like a single dashboard which prints all the settings. That's one thing, and another thing is this video will remind ourselves how to use Zabbix API if you are a newbie and want to get some hands-on experience on Zabbix API. So this time I'm using Zabbix 7.0 LTS, and it will use this new method for API where we store the token inside the header. This is relatively new, introduced in 2025, I think. And yeah, so it will be an API gym, I would say, to have like one use case how it can help. Okay. We will start the journey by summarizing what was made yesterday or in the previous video. And in the previous video, what was done is by using help of Zabbix agent, we did read the configuration, raw configuration file here on screen, and kind of extract the active values. Here is one active, here is another one active. So it reads the raw config and then it converts the config into a JSON, which obviously is good for preprocessing. And then the outcome was global dashboard. This is the global dashboard, Zabbix proxy config, where we have all the settings on the left side and all the proxy names on the very top. And then we see like what is the value for each setting on each proxy. These three columns, these three columns are proxies which are not containerized, but I have two more proxies which are containerized, and I would like to include those in this table as well. Okay, let's start to design like a solution. And what I will do is like clone this template and write here pod in the name. And all I need to do is figure out how to do the data pickup. Previously, Zabbix agent was used, and there is a native key, very native key, like no user parameter, no fancy, no ugly solutions are required. It's able really to read the config up to 16 megabytes. That's quite a lot of textual information. It can read the config, and then the other dependent item is converting into the JSON. So now with the Docker containers, like there is no agent, and even if I can map an agent, I would like to not use it, just to keep it very minimal. What are the alternatives? And one alternative is like instead of using Zabbix agent, we could possibly use like external check here. External checks are first, by the way, like first idea of mine was SSH agent, and SSH agent, if we go to the proxy, like authenticate inside the proxy, and if I list the processes here, like this is all I have, like the process number 1, which usually is systemd. This root process is already Zabbix proxy, so there is no SSH actually listening here, so that's a no-go. SSH will not help here. And the next choice comes in mind, like external check. And this introduces like a dependency. I need to create some sort of script which will help to read this file, and that's exactly what was done. If we go here to the external scripts directory and list the files, there is like script, there is a command cat, and if we use the cat command to print the content, all it does is the script is producing the output of the argument. Of the whatever you passed, and that's like a full path that can be produced in the output. And this was done kind of like from the perspective of it was volume got introduced, so the external scripts directory is actually sitting outside from the container. So all we need to do is supply that file in there and map together with the container. Let's see how it works, or if it works at all. And so this, which was initially Zabbix agent, what I will do is I will replace it with the cat.sh, and that's it. Square brackets end and cat, and that's everything. So this is external script. It's currently mapped with the Docker container, and the first argument is like the full path of the file name. Let's update this guy, visit the actual proxy object here, and I will actually need to link a template, this template, update. And if we go to that script here, go to the host object, we can simulate this passive collection on the fly by clicking the test button, click, and voila, like it's able to produce the config on the fly, and that's it, like problem solved. But it is introducing another dependency. Here I have another proxy which is using the same solution. Conf pod is the template name, update, and for this guy I have not linked that external volume, and if I click the test button, it is like having a lack of dependencies and failing miserably because the file is not there, which introduces struggle. And I thought myself, like I want to have like try another workarounds if any are possible. And one comes in mind. If we check like what's available here, let's clear the screen, and if I write Zabbix underscore tab and hit tab, I have sender, proxy, and get. So these sender and sender, it's like an alternative way to deliver data to the Trapper port, and Zabbix get can simulate agent. And I decided to take advantage of these utilities. I don't want to map the Zabbix agent here inside, and the way how I decided to do is like deliver a base64 string of the proxy configuration file, and to do so the command is base64, and this executable also exists in this light container with the Alpine image. And if we use like this etc Zabbix proxy conf, I can deliver this config in one line. If I click enter, this is the base64, and I can decode at the proxy side to put back like as it should be. And this can not be done with the item with the normal data collection. This can be done with the scripts, and now it will get like very interesting. Like a lot of complexity will be introduced, but we should always think like, is it a set it forget type of solution? And if yes, then maybe it's a good solution if we set one time maybe it's worth the effort. So this is the command which actually helps to deliver. What we are doing, we are using Zabbix sender. We are reaching out to the same host, to the Trapper port. So this is like, it's feeding the data to the proxy server. And the HOST.HOST will automatically resolve if we create like one proxy, another proxy. This will automatically resolve to the proxy name. And this is like the item key, which should exist inside the template. And let's move on while copying this to the clipboard. And now data collection, templates, and pod, click, create item. This will be Zabbix Trapper item key over here. I will put the name the same, the type of information log, and that's enough for now. Click add. And now this template has capabilities to receive like textual data on this item. Let's have a look here. These hosts belong to the host group Zabbix proxies, and that remote command here also belong to group Zabbix proxies, and it's a manual host action script which must be executed on Zabbix proxies. Now visiting monitoring hosts, we have a separate group, and I can click the menu over here, and there is menu, pick up Zabbix proxy. When I click the button, it will execute that Zabbix sender utility and feed the base64 stuff into that Trapper item. Click, and if we see like failed 0, that's kind of a good thing. I feel hopeful the data was delivered. Let's have a look if it is there. Riga proxy here, and the Trapper item, and there is a button. Click latest data, and voila, like the base64 is delivered. Now we need to figure out how to decode, and okay, visiting the template, click the pod, and right now I'm using the 7010, and this decode method, which I will use in a second, this JavaScript preprocessing, it's available starting from 7.0.5 something. So if you use 7.0.0, it will not work. And what we can do is like this base64 is receiving the base64 string. I will open this external check, link the preprocessing, JavaScript preprocessing, which is able to decode the base64 string like this, and we can test, by the way, on the fly. If I go back here, hosts, if it even fits in 64 kilobytes, I can test. I'm not sure. Let's try. Click latest data. If I do triple click here and copy and put it over here, paste, apply, and click, and voila, it was able to decode base64, and it's a normal config. Very nice. And the magic will happen here. Like now it's external check, but I want to have dependent item and link with that base64. Whenever the base64 receives that string, it will decode, and this item will work like usually. If you watched the previous video, nothing is changing. It will kind of fit almost, it will fit in the same rules how to deliver all the rest stuff. Update, and yeah, let's try to simulate, like send one more time, monitoring hosts, and Riga proxy, pick up Zabbix config, and now it's feeding base64, and we should have a look on the dates. And now how did I call base 64? 16 seconds ago this was received, and if we use proxy conf, click, and that is also we see both things, and we see the other one is dependent item, so this is not external check anymore, it's not Zabbix agent anymore, but it's dependent item which is able to decode base 64, and the rest is working as usual. If I will send again, right now, like this object, it kind of, if we click latest data, we see it's already working. Like we have socket directory and start preprocessor, so that would mean if we visit the dashboard, we have now not only 3 but also the 4th proxy. Let's try the same on the other Docker proxy, and this is the one. The template is already there. All I need to do is execute manually that very like Zabbix sender, and now it will generate items if it's not already 53, and I'm running the health template over there. I think most of them belong to the health template. If we refresh, and now it's 81, and I need to execute again the check in order to feed the items which was made in the first cycle. Like to feed the items, we need to execute again. Click. Okay, and now the dashboard should be ready with the 5 columns, Riga proxy, and then there is another one, HTTP proxy. Okay, so I was using the manual button all the time here, clicking on the host object and executing this thing. And now the Zabbix API gym will start. Like actually, this can be automated. As funny as it sounds, it's already looks quite orchestrated. And why would we ever use this? I don't know. Like challenge accepted. And now it's possible to automate with the help of API. What is Zabbix API? And it should be started to be used starting with the API token. Here, API token, I have a dedicated user object. If we open wide open, I will click regenerate. Regenerate the token, copy to the clipboard, and my preference is to store the token in a global level. It is called this way, z_API session ID. And another field, if you follow this tutorial, which is important, is Zabbix URL. So these two fields, like what is a session token, and this must be attached to a powerful user, and then what is the URL, and we can see like the URL is matching quite the same as here on the top of the web browser. So these two fields will be used to automate the clicking the button. To do so, let's visit the template. And at first, actually, I need to steal the name of the script. Like the name of the script is this, pick up Zabbix proxy. This will be like a very universal, reusable template, not only for this project, but maybe you have other ideas going on. So the script will be this, pick up Zabbix proxy, and the name of the macro will be this, and this is the user macro over here, update. And now the actual script. And what we will do is like organically, I would like to use script item. This is fancy item. It supports like HOST.HOST macro, but there is a big downside, like a deal breaker, why it's not suitable here. The script item will be executed on proxy, and maybe the proxy does not have access to the front end, like Zabbix API needs to read the front end. So script item is a no-go, and we can manipulate with the situation by using calculated item. The calculated item will always execute on central server, and so I need to have one firewall rule. The central backend needs to reach the front end like over the HTTP. Okay, and create task will be the item key, like this. And let's set it at the disabled mode at the moment. And pre-processing. And now I have prepared the script already, like 30 lines or something. So what the script needs, a valid session token. It needs to know where is Zabbix API, then to automatically read what is the host technical name. This must be entered manually. Let's have a look here. If we go data collection, hosts, Riga proxy, like $sign, this looks like very similar as a built-in macro, but this is not built-in macro. This field must be installed manually, need to set, which must match exactly the same name as here, Riga space proxy case sensitive, and here it's the same. So the script needs that as a prerequisite, and then the script name, which will expand to that, like pick up Zabbix proxy.conf. And now we are using like the normal HTTP request, feeding the token inside the header. And the first query is like listing all the scripts the front end owns, script.get. And after that, it will look for the script which is matching the name. So listing all scripts is like clicking here reset button, and then it must read what is the script ID of this very script. Okay, and another one, querying all host objects. I wanted to create this function very universal, and this is quite heavy API call, I would say. Host.get, if you have 10,000 hosts, maybe it will not have, it cannot complete. There is one thing that one JavaScript preprocessing step, there is a time budget of 10 seconds. If we cannot fit the API sequence into 10 seconds, then it's sorry, it will fail. But my instance is having like 5 hosts, and I will always fit in the 10 seconds. And if you have a good front-end server, even if we have 10,000 hosts, it might fit in 10 seconds. What's important is like we have as light, the call is as light as possible. We are fetching only the host name and host ID. And obviously we need to kind of simulate that manual button. We need script ID and we need host ID. And then there are functions which is doing the lookup, like what is the host ID based on the library we have here, a library of hosts, a library of scripts, and then we pick up the script ID. And the final, this is the magic, line 42, when we are actually clicking the button, and that's it, like it's clicking the button. Okay, I will copy this thing to the clipboard and put as a JavaScript over here, apply. This will be output as a log, and that's everything. Okay, so this script is ready, calculated item. This will execute on central server, even if the template is linked on Zabbix proxy. Now visiting and looking how it looks like. Here, let's filter out calculated items, and let's try to test the task. Actually, I would like to see what is the last timestamp of the data. Riga proxy as let's see, like .conf, enter, and this is dependent item, the base 64 stuff, and the latest values. So the last timestamp is 6:34. Now I will see this is disabled item, click the button, and even when clicking test, it will execute that API sequence. Click test. We see these guys must expand. Like this is looking up for the script exactly with this name, and we don't need to think about what's the script ID. And this is required to locate the host ID. OK, get value and test, and we are failing miserably. Welcome to troubleshooting session. What can be the problem here? Cannot length. Probably I forgot to put some argument. Token will expand URL. It is there. HOST.HOST. And if we search this very keyword over here, okay, the length, okay. At the moment I have no idea why it's failing. This is Riga proxy, get value. Okay, this can, my guess is maybe the token is not active. Okay, cancel. Let's go again. Users, API token, click, generate, copy, and administration, macro, and my API token is this. Okay, update. Going back over here, click calculated item, click test, and get value. Yay! Did solve the issue in 2 minutes. That's quite a good success. And the outcome is, we see already like the script was, script produced 3 categories. What are all scripts? What was actually script ID picked up by reading that script name? And then the result, which is kind of saying how Zabbix sender did succeed. And we can see that result at the very end. We see processed 1, failed 0. And yeah, it works. If we go back here, and we just saw that it flapped from something to something else. Okay, that's everything, I think. So what we are doing, so how this should work in practice, probably we should set this item as a 1 hour interval update. And every 1 hour, as long as the session token is active, it will kind of click that button all the time. Here, like we can do manually, click on the proxy object, pick up Zabbix proxy, which is generating that base64 string, sending to the trapper port, then the dependent item is decoding, and then it's using as in the template in the yesterday. And this is the outcome. Alright, that is everything for this video. All the template or all the scripts are inside the video description. If you find it helpful, give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.